Following the Cowboys' win over the Texans, the media asked Jerry Jones if the team had moved on from the idea of signing Odell Beckham Jr. Jerry Jones responded saying, quote, "Not at all," with a big exclamation point. Well, yesterday the Cowboys did not sign OBJ. Instead, they signed veteran wide receiver T.Y Hilton, who spent the previous 10 seasons with the Colts. Interesting here. Shannon, what does this tell you?
It tells me T.Y Hilton is ready to put on a uniform and contribute right now. Skip, I think anytime you sign a player at this juncture that was on the street, you're not looking for a game, you're looking for a play. Can he give me a play? Can he give me a big play? Can he give me a catch on third down? Can he keep a drive alive? If we need a spark, can he give me that? Because he used to have, he was a big play receiver. His last best season was 2018. He had 1,270 yards, 6 touchdowns in 14 games, 16.7 yards a catch.
Yep.
He has 5 1,000-yard seasons in his 10 seasons in Indy, 53 touchdowns, a little less than 10,000 yards. So that's what it tells me, Skip. He worked out. I think he missed like 8, 9 games, maybe even 10 games last year. I think
he did.
And so
he had 3 different injuries.
Right. And so got an opportunity to get his body fully healed. He came in. Mike McCarthy said he's ready to go. So if I work out, so because the question is, Skip, in 5 weeks, is Odell going to be ready in 5 weeks to work out, or 5 weeks ready to put on a uniform and go catch a pass or passes if needed? That's the unknown. Nobody knows because he didn't work out. So they don't know how far along. They know, okay, he had surgery then, and now it's this. So it's 10 months, 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that. Mm-hmm. But how ready is he to contribute for the on-field success of the Dallas Cowboys right now? Mm-hmm. And it looks to me that T.Y Hilton was ready to contribute right now. And so I think that's why they went in this direction. Yep. And so the question is, you got CD, you got Michael Gallup, who's getting better, you got Noah Brown. Who else do you have after that? Clearly, they're not trusting the rookie right now.
Not. Nope.
That's because if he was ready to go, if he's what you thought he was going to be when you selected him in the third round, you don't sign T.Y Hilton.
Tolbert. Yep.
So I think that's.
He said, "I'm coming to change the culture."
Yeah, and
you got to get on the field first.
That does. Skip, you sign a guy like Devontae Adams for games. Mm-hmm. You sign a guy like T.Y Hilton for a play.
Or maybe you sign him just in case. Heaven forbid, I'm going to knock on wood, but if one of my top 2 receivers goes down and all of a sudden you're stuck and you're about to play the Eagles, well, maybe T.Y. Hilton can step right in and do
a couple of weeks ago, Skip, we went over some names and I threw T.Y. Hilton out of there, threw T.Y. Hilton out, and I'm like, okay, why not?
Okay. To your point, Mike McCarthy's quote yesterday was, "He's ready to go." That's T.Y. Hilton. Well, that's it. It's just as simple as that. He's ready and he's not ready.
Right.
It did give me pause and give me actually a little hope that Jerry was adamant about this when our man Clarence Hill Jr. asked him after the game on Sunday, "Are you moving on from Odell?" And the quote was, "Not at all. Put a big exclamation on that." That's all I got on that. Just put a big exclamation. Not at all. I'm not cooling off at all. It felt like Jerry got enamored of Odell. And Jerry's like that. Sometimes he takes a liking to somebody, even on the phone, like he clicks with him.
Right.
I think he's enamored of the idea of having Odell wear the star on his helmet, as Jerry said right out of the box. It is not going to happen this year, obviously. But I think he wants to keep the lines of communication open, and he wants to stay in the sweepstakes for Odell going into next year.
So you don't believe Odell is going to be on the team this season?
No, I don't, because I think Odell himself has made it pretty clear he's just not ready to go. And I told you I heard from somebody pretty close to him that he fears he's not even going to be ready quite for the start of next year. It's not responding the best.
Damn.
Well, it's been a little shaky, and that he's still a little limpy on it.
Right.
Well, he wouldn't work out. And the other big point they made is T.Y. came in and put on a show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about that. going to the facility on Tuesday, our day off, and seeing 10, 15 guys in there putting on a Bronco gear and getting ready to get on the field. They're running 40s. They're vertical jumping. If you're a DB, you backpedaling, you doing all those things. You wide receiver, you're out there catching passes. So it was odd to me, but I understood. That was Odell. None of the guys that normally came in and worked out was a guy of Odell's caliber.
No.
So, and he's coming off an injury, so he's like, okay, let's tug the knee, let's do some things, and then let's see where you are.
So in the best case scenario, would I prefer Odell Beckham Jr. right now to T.Y. Hilton? Well, sure I would. If you could tell me he was 92%, because you can't you can't bet on the come with him. You can't sign him. That's for a while I thought somebody would try to stash him, like stash sign him. And I'm still not convinced that he won't go back to the Rams, but I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to shake out. And he and Baker, if it ends up being Baker going into next year,
I don't see that.
I'm not sure that one's going to fit. But the point is that T.Y. Hilton is fine with me because they stole him. Basically, it's a grand total of $800,000 if he gets his incentives. If he goes into the postseason, he can make 1.3.
Yeah.
Remember, Odell wanted I think this is with the report. He wanted prorated $20 million over the last 4 or maybe even 5 games. We'll do the math on that.
Yeah, I didn't see that happening.
Okay, so the point is, this is a steal for a guy who made 4 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
And a guy who, once upon a time, it was a long time ago, he ran 4.3 coming out of Florida International.
It's also a steal for a guy that was sitting on his couch making no money.
He was making no money. And by the way, he was making no money the whole offseason. And then, I don't even know what the date is today, but we're getting deep into this season, right? We got, four games left. And he was still sitting on his couch.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Well, that's not the best sign for the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
But what did Kellen Moore say about T.Y. Hilton? As a veteran, he knows ball. He's really, really smart.
Right.
His reputation as a receiver when he was the number 1 for Andrew Luck.
Right.
Highly intelligent, ran precise routes.
Yes.
And Luck and he were a great combination.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember the game. It was late in the 2018 season after Amari had just come to Dallas, and they had the one rocky game against Tennessee on Monday Night Football. And then they took off. They went to Philadelphia and won. And all of a sudden, everything was coming up roses again in Dallas. And yet they were on a roll late season, and then the second to the last game was at Indianapolis. You remember this?
Yeah.
And out of nowhere,
they got blown. The 27-0 game.
23.
23. Okay,
It was 23-0. But Dak couldn't score a point.
Right.
Dak and Amari couldn't score a point.
Yeah.
And I looked it up last night just to see, because sometimes it'll stick in the psyches of coaches like a Kellen Moore or something, who will remember, oh God, that day.
Right.
Well, he caught 5 for 85, which is still pretty good. That 85 is pretty good, as you know. And so they saw him at his finest.
Right.
And 4 Pro Bowls is 4 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
But he's 33 years of age. Well, they all say he takes great care of himself, and he was taking great care of himself. He's staying in great shape. He was working out every day, and he did put on a nice show in the workout that he gladly did for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, James Washington is still there, and they gave him a little bit of money also. And I keep telling you, he won the Biletnikoff Award at Oklahoma State. Now, it was a few years back, but then at Pittsburgh as a second-round pick.
I think I trust T.Y. more, though.
Okay, well, you probably should. And I told you on Monday, they let James get some early run in that game against Houston, and Dak threw him one ball and hit him on a little slant, hit him right in the hands.
Yeah.
And he coughed it. He just couldn't hang on.
He's a 50-50 guy. There's a 50% chance he catches it. There's a 50% chance he drops it.
But he's got that weird gear where he ran 4 or 5, but he can run by people. And so I was hoping, give me one play from him occasionally, but I don't know if he's fallen a little bit out of favor now or whatever. But apparently they don't view him as the answer. And T.Y., and can he play out of the slot a little bit more? Can he be more of that sort of Cedric Wilson that they had last year?
But the thing is, Skip, like when a guy's been away for a while, it takes him a while to get his rhythm. Because you got to realize, Skip, I hadn't been running routes. I haven't been in a game. I had, catching passes in shorts and a T-shirt is one thing. Catching with shoulder pads and a helmet when somebody's trying to put their helmet in my ear hole is something entirely different. So it's going to take a while to get rhythm, get the feel of the game, because your spidey senses are not where they need to be. Because when you as a receiver, Skip, where that collision is going to come from because the defense. Oh, this is a cover 3 look. Okay, the DB should be here, or the linebacker should be there, or it's a quarters look, or it's a shell look. So you've lost that because it's been so long since you've been on the field and had to use those senses. Senses, if you don't use them, you'll lose them.
Okay. So it sounds like Jerry still has a strong notion that he has a good chance of signing Odell going into next year and start fresh with him, hoping that his knee is fully
How
back.
you going to do that? That man want $20 million. So what the hell you going to pay a CD? CD going to want somewhere between 26 and 30 million.
And you already paid Michael Gallup going into this year when he was coming off an ACL and was not right, remember, for quite a while. He's just now getting right.
You better save some of that money because you know who coming. That guy. That guy you always talk about, the guy that you say the best player on your team, he coming.
He hasn't been the best player on my team for a couple of weeks now, and I need to see him rise and shine and start earning that money again.
And just so you know, Dak and Michael Parsons, they'll be up at the same time.
They will.
That contract will be completely up.
Yep.
Michael going to be wanting an extension on that and going into the 4th year. What you gonna do, Skip?
Well, I'll worry about that.
Oh, you don't worry about it.
I'll cross that bridge after we get to the NFC Championship game this year, and I'm a happy camper.
You know that drive the price up, right? You don't get to the NFC Championship game, drive the price up for Dak and Michael, right?
Yeah.
And CD.
Okay, but the cap's going to go up.
And they going up there.
As Jerry always says, you have no idea the size of check I would write to get me another Super Bowl.
Okay, well.
Jerry, you have a salary cap.